Hi, I'm David from Kronos Audiovisual, and today on the video review diary we want to look at one of the most unique loudspeaker ranges we sell. This is the Diapason Karis speaker from Italy. This is such a unique loudspeaker. The first thing you'll probably see on the speaker is this is not a piece of MDF with a bit of veneer stuck on it. This is a 10-year-old aged Canaletto solid walnut cabinet. You'll see if I pick the cabinet up and show you here that this is just the most beautifully built cabinet. There's no signs anywhere of how they put them together, but I know they're put together from walnut staves, and they're hand built by a husband and wife team in Italy who make all the cabinets for Diapason. There are very few loudspeakers that come in a solid wood cabinet. The reason they are 10-year-old aged Canaletto walnut cabinets is that once the speaker ages to that extent, the wood won't either contract or get larger, so there's no issue with the stability of the cabinets. There's a number of other really interesting features on the Diapason as well. The cabinets are actually created, they almost look like a little sort of faceted diamond when you see them. And the reason for the shape and size of the speaker is that the speakers are literally made like a musical instrument, so that the cabinet size and shape is very specific to the drive units. So they are literally tuned to suit the cabinet. The drive units are tuned. So the bass doesn't actually go through the crossover. The bass is hardwired directly to the rear speaker terminals. That's the only company I know that does a design like this. And then you have a very simple crossover for the high frequency unit. That makes vocals and instruments sound incredibly natural and realistic on these speakers. They are really unique. Okay, let's come to the price, because, you know, as you can tell, with hand-built drive units, speaker hand-built in Italy with a solid walnut cabinet, these are not entry-level speakers. They retail at just over £4,000, £4,050 to be exact, and that's a lot of money for a small speaker. However, these speakers create a huge soundstage for their diminutive size. I mean, it really, until you hear them in a system, you can't believe how big the soundstage they produce is. They will fill a large room really, really easily. And okay, they don't go down as low in the bass as a floor standing speaker can, but the bass is really remarkable from such a small cabinet. The other thing that's really interesting is that they're 87 dB 8 ohm loudspeaker. Now that's not massively sensitive on paper, but the speaker doesn't dip below 7.2 ohms, so they are incredibly easy to drive. So whether it's a valve amp, solid state amp, almost anything can drive these speakers, because it is such an easy load to drive. Because the sensitivity of the speaker is only part of the reason. You know, a lot of speakers will start off at 8 ohm and dip down to way below 3 ohms, and that needs an absolutely massive solid state amplifier that can drive into difficult loads to drive them. Although the sensitivity is only 87, because it's almost a flat 8 ohm load, almost anything can drive them. They are ported to the rear, so if I turn the speaker around, you'll see there is a rear port here, and then obviously your speaker terminals are on the back as well. Because it's rear ported, you can actually use the wall to reinforce the bass. So if you want a little bit more bass, you can bring the speaker a little bit closer to the wall. And if you prefer less bass sound, you can actually bring the speaker out. So they can be tuned literally to suit the room. Because it's a small speaker, you're never going to overblow the bass, no matter how close to a rear wall you go. So the choice of placement on the speaker is down to the individual person. The designer of these particular speakers is also the CEO of the company, and this is a guy called Alessandro Schillaci. This guy is a brilliant designer. He used to make musical instruments. He is a sound engineer. He's a multi-skilled individual, and his speakers sound unlike anything else on the market. You know, I really urge you to come in and listen to the Diapason speakers. They start from about 2,500. They have a small stand mount speaker and a small floor stander, and that's at the price of other speakers with simple MDF cabinets. So even the cheaper Diapason speakers all use solid candlelight walnut cabinets. So they are a really, really unique range of loudspeakers. And I mean, instruments and vocals are the most accurate I have ever heard from any loudspeaker. You know, yes, you know, you're not going to use a speaker like this if you're listening to large scale classical or you're playing rock music or whatever, but they play an awful lot of music really well. Jazz, blues, acoustic, pop, rock. I mean, they're a really, really versatile little loudspeaker, and they just look so stunning in their cabinets. They are, you know, they're just a piece of art in your room as well, which makes them very wife friendly. And you know, the other thing about them is, as well, is that they are a remarkable loudspeaker, even at their price. And of course, you know, like a lot of our brands and a lot of our products, we can do interest-free credit, we can do buy now, pay later, we can do low-cost finance up to 5 years. So there is, you know, they're very affordable for a lot of people. And as I say, if you get the opportunity, please do come in and listen to the Diapason loudspeakers. They are such a unique range, and we are so privileged to be a retailer for them. You know, we know the company very well. They've been around for a long, long time in Italy. And as I say, it's one of our favourite speaker ranges in the store. So thanks again for listening, and I hope you get the opportunity at some point to come in and have a look at these beautiful little speakers. Thanks for listening.